What's going on, guys? JR Sports Cards coming at you with another video today. So, as you saw by the title, I'm going to be going through my top 5 tips for investing in the NBA this season. So I made a video which will be linked either maybe at the end, like you'll see it at the end. Will pop up. I made a video, top 5 players to invest in this season, or at least what I think is going to players that you're going to be as are really good investments. And so I was like, well, let's make a video about top 5 investing tips. So if you're going to go for those players or go for a specific player this season, let's go through some tips to help you out, save you some money, and make you some money. So let's get into it. I wasn't going to film a video today, but I was like, I posted for like almost 60 days straight. It's almost been 60 days. So I couldn't miss an upload today. I just couldn't. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off with tip number 1. And just a disclaimer, actually, before I get in, I'm more talking about like graded cards in a sense. So your PSA 9s and 10s of the world. You can obviously invest in like raw cards, but really your Prism, so your silvers and base are going to be the ones that you're going to be looking for. And those cards are going to really, like, you're going to see the difference from these tips when you are trading or purchasing or like Prism cards. Sometimes Optic as well. So let's get into the first one. You got to go for players on playoff teams. So record matters because, and I'll give you an example. So for example, you guys may know I have a Donovan Mitchell coming in. I guess I ruined it for a pretty insane video. I spent like $550 on cards. So I have a big mail day video coming down the stretch when everything gets in. And it's interesting because you need to buy someone on a playoff team, because anytime a team makes playoffs and they're a top player on the team, this kind of brings me into my second tip as well. So 1 and 2 will be together. Their value is going to go up. If they do well in the playoffs, their team does well, their value is going to go up. So Donovan Mitchell, I think he's a solid investment right now, and I invested some money in him. I got a PSA 9 Prism base. Now, Prism base is tougher. I probably should have got a silver, but I didn't want to spend the 400. I'd rather just spend the 100 and make a little less money. But anyway, so I think Donovan Mitchell's going to go up because the Jazz are a good team. They are most likely going to make the playoffs. I think most of us can agree that they'll make the playoffs. And when they make the playoffs, hopefully they go deep in the playoffs. I mean, you saw, that series against the Nuggets was just insane with the Jamal Murray versus Donovan Mitchell scoring 40-plus points a game. So I think the Jazz won't get out first round, may even make it past the second round. So, and I think Donovan Mitchell's going to be a standout player on the Jazz, right? I mean, Gobert's great, but centers don't necessarily stand out. So I was like, Donovan Mitchell, that price is going to go up. So playoff team, standout player on that team. Another player, for example, could be someone like Tyler Hero. Now, that's riskier because we don't know if the Heat are going to make the playoffs. It's a little iffy so far this season. So you can try to see maybe if you're confident in the Heat, maybe a Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler. So something like that could help pay off. And then it's kind of a risk versus reward. If you're going to buy a player of a team that you know that is like going to playoffs, has high odds to go to playoffs, so maybe like the Celtics, the Bucks, the Lakers, the Clippers. So if you say you're getting like a, Kawhi rookie or something, the price isn't going to go up as much because people are kind of already like, they're on a good team already. But if a team shocks the league, maybe the Thunder come up and snag a playoff spot and you had a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Prism rookie, that's definitely going to help you. And like, that's obviously more of a risk, but you're going to get more of a reward because you're going to get that at a cheaper price, but it's also, you're going to be selling it at a cheaper price. So you're kind of like almost betting on teams to make the playoffs in a sense when investing. Now, of course, if a player goes off, like if, say, the Thunder don't make the playoffs, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander starts dropping 34 points a night or something crazy, then you're going to make money on that as well. So it's not a super crazy risk. All right, so that's kind of 1 and 2. So playoff team and then standout players on those teams. My third tip, and this is huge, and this is across all sports, and you guys know I preach this on my channel all the time. Stay away from hot players, stay away from the hype, and I'm going to give you 2 great examples of why to do that. Actually, 4 great examples because I have them off the top of my head. So coming into the season, you guys know that Luka Doncic and Trae Young were the most sought-after players in the NBA PSA graded card-wise. I mean, You had Doncic 10 base or silvers going for like thousands and thousands of dollars. Trae Young, same thing. Like a 10 Trae Young was going for like $1,200 or something crazy. For a base prism Trae Young 10, could have even been going for more. They start the season, value goes down. For both Doncic and Trae Young, value went down coming into the season. That is going to kill their card. Also, I mean, it killed the hype. The hype kind of went down. They were hyped. Trae Young was hyped just from last season by how he played. And then Doncic against the Clippers, I mean, had an absolutely fantastic series in the bubble. They were kind of riding that hype from the bubble. And once the season started and people kind of realized maybe a little overrated. So Trae and Doncic, super hype, went down. Now, this is the same exact thing happening with Zion, Ja Morant. It happened with Tyler Hero. Same thing. Tyler Hero played fantastic in the bubble. PSA 9s, 10s were going for like 250, something like crazy. I couldn't remember if it's the 9 or 10 go for 250. For a base prism, plummeted this season when the Heat started not doing well. He didn't really play any good minutes. Tough. Now, Ja Morant and Zion, that's happening right now. Ja Morant's playing absolutely fantastic right now. Zion's playing absolutely fantastic right now, but they're not on playoff teams. I doubt the Grizzlies and the Pelicans are going to make the playoffs. It's obviously harder to make it to the playoffs in the West. I don't see it happening. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I doubt they even make it out of the first round if they do make it to the playoffs. So I don't see Zion and Ja as a good investment right now. They are too hyped up. It is in the season. That is an off-season purchase. Any team, and this kind of goes with my first tip in a sense, any team like that is not going to make the playoffs, so like Bulls, so like Kobe White is an off-season pickup. Do not buy during the season for teams that aren't going to make the playoffs. And Ja Morant and Zion are great example of that. Now, also, their pop is insane. I'll go back to Doncic, 14,000 PSA 10 Doncic base prism. That's insane. 14,000. Zion's about 10,000. Ja was about 8,000. Risky. Supply and demand. The supply increases. You're risking not enough demand there. So I would steer clear of Ja, Zion, and any hype players right now. Go for players that you think are under the radar. So for me, I think Donovan Mitchell, he's not in the hype right now, you know? He was in the hype. His stuff was up crazy. Came down now. I still think he's a really solid player. I think he's an all-star. So Donovan Mitchell was a buy for me. So Booker as well. I mean, he still has a little hype from the bubble. I mean, he's playing good this season. So any player that you think played well or kind of under the radar, that's who to go for, but stay away from hype. Fourth tip, buy after a bad game. Look on bid for this. This is really going to show up bidding on eBay or whatever site you use and it has bidding as an option. After a bad game they play, less people are going to be looking at bids. Now, why does it not work for buy it now? Because buy it now, I mean, the buy it now prices aren't going to really change that quick for one game that they play, especially when there's 82 games in the season. Just because Donovan Mitchell scored 13 points last night doesn't mean the buy it now price is going to go down or someone's going to accept your offer for less than maybe they would before that game. It's really with bid. If they have a bad game, look for cards ending that night. Less people are going to be looking at them. People are going to be staring clear, unwatching those cards, and you're going to still be able to get in. One bad game is nothing in the NBA. Again, there's 82 games. If you really have a gut feeling this player is going to go off, whether it's in the long run or short term, snag it after a bad game. Now, my fifth option goes with buy it now on eBay, buy it now on Facebook Marketplace, buy it now on Discord. Any sort of place you can buy a card right then and there. Shoot people in offer. Shoot your shot. That's what I call it. No pun intended for basketball purposes, but shoot your shot. Don't necessarily lowball. I mean, you can throw a lowball at someone on eBay, and the worst they can do is decline it, and you kind of just keep moving up depending on how much you want to pay. But maybe they'll answer with you know, like a card goes for 100, you lowball like 40, and that's a lowball. Maybe they counter at 80 when if you had thrown something in at 60, they would have countered like 90 or something like that. So lowballing is not always the worst option. It can ruin your reputation if you're like lowballing on like Facebook, Discord, Instagram. So I wouldn't lowball on that type of stuff. But why just throw a lowball on eBay? Worst that happens is they decline it, and then you can even come back with a higher price if you're still interested in the card. So on eBay, the worst thing you can do is get rejected. So shoot your shot on eBay. Like I'm telling you, I cannot stress this enough. Just do it. So that's going to be it for me. Those are my 5 tips. That's what I'm using this year. These are more for short-term investments, I guess, but some of them can be for longer-term investments. If you're going for longer-term investments, I wouldn't even buy right now. Short-term, this is more for short-term investing. Whether you're going to sell at the All-Star break, if they have an All-Star game, or you're going to sell during the playoffs, this is more short-term investing, because if you're going to long-term invest any sport, buy off-season. You just got to be patient. Patience is key. Patience will make you more money. I can guarantee you that. So be patient. This is more for short-term investing again. But guys, if you enjoy this type of content, which I see you guys do enjoy this type of content, obviously not as much as like the retail hunter stuff, but I actually may be retail hunting tomorrow. Just haven't had much time with classes going on and everything. But I'll get a retail hunt in for you guys soon. But yeah, you guys seem to enjoy these videos. I get comments saying it was very informative and they appreciate the tips. So I thought, let me bring another video. Why not? But guys, if you did enjoy this, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, comment down below, and join me on Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the 3rd edition of the Cardboard Talks podcast. We're going to be doing 2 more giveaways. Guys, free cards just for being alive. Talking sports can be entertaining. Guys, I will see you in tomorrow's video.